Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tesla Life number 86 for February 20th, 2019. Welcome to the show, everybody. We got waivers in the background. We got all sorts of stuff going on today. Absolutely. Let's get to the panel tonight. We've got our co-anchor, Mr. Russell Frost, in the middle box. He's my middle box anyways. I'm not sure if everyone sees him in the middle box. How you doing, Russell?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I have my new cool guy glasses on, and so I'm feeling much cooler than normal. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Lots of good Tesla news this week.
Excellent. And of course, in the Blackhawk sweater, it's our friend in Chicago, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Mr. Patrick Kane, thank you. Can't really see the back.
You can't spin around. You're going to rip the mic down.
You can't hook the mic. Just
all right, whatever. Yes, hockey night in Chicago.
No, it's in Detroit.
Well, okay. Well, God damn it, you got to ruin everything, don't you?
I don't think.
Hey, you're the one that told me it was Detroit. I'm just going with what you're telling me.
That is true. I did kind of.
As far as I know, it's in St. Louis. I have no clue.
Go smoke your legal pot and get some health care.
Yeah.
And also, last but not least, Mr. Casey Green out in South Carolina. How are you today, Casey?
I'm doing great. It's a little cool and wet, but we don't have any snow or ice, so there's that.
So you call temperatures where there's no snow cool?
I didn't say it was cold. I said it was cool.
It's cold. It's like 56 here and raining. Okay, I'm freezing.
Same here.
I'm freezing. Okay,
I will say there is something to be said about mid 50s Fahrenheit and rainy, because that will just chill you to the bone.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I'm sure you weren't saying that for my benefit.
No, but I mean,
people are all saps,
right? Like you all.
Yeah, I can't believe you fell for that, Mark.
If it's not minus something, it is not cold.
Tapestry.
I had to wear 2 coats this morning.
Oh
okay?
my gosh, 2 coats. Yeah,
I had
a light sweater and a windbreaker. I'm sure.
And a windbreaker, yes.
Yeah, you call a windbreaker a coat.
And rain jackets.
Get real, my friend. Get real.
Just in case it started raining while I was out getting my hairs did this morning. So
it's so cold that Casey wore 2 pair of sweatpants to Walmart.
Oh my gosh!
Don't go to Walmart.
It is rough. It is
no
rough.
Walmart.
Well, we digress. We can't talk about weather for the whole show. We've got a bunch of Tesla news that we're going to talk about today as well. And of course, the first story of the evening is that Tesla completely disses cats.
Ooh, I like that slant.
They're just upset about cats for some reason because they, of course, released dog mode this week. And for those of you who don't know, and you must be hiding under a rock if you don't know, but dog mode, of course, allows you to set a setting on the screen that will display to people outside the car that your dog is not in, I guess, danger of dying in the car because the owner left him there. Because you've now got the ability to show on the screen that your dog is sitting at a comfortable temperature and the owner knows about it, and the owner will be back shortly as the dog sits in air-conditioned or heated comfort, depending on the season that you're sitting in. So this new option that was released or started to release, I haven't received mine yet. I'm still waiting. So it is in limited rollout, as Tesla typically does. Has been released just this week, and we've got that ability now to set a temperature for your dog. But apparently not your cat.
So, and part of this, though, is also that Tesla has incorporated a new mode that won't let the temperature in the cabin go up to 105, past 105?
That one they did last year for the Model S and Model X. And this year for, well, not this year, but late
last year for Model 3.
Exactly. Yes. And so that one, it'll typically just run the fans, but it can run the air conditioner as well to bring it back down.
See?
And then
something.
Right? All of these modes only work above 20% battery. You get a nice little.
That's correct. If you fire it up, if you're below 20%, it isn't going to work. So The dog will die eventually. So
geez.
make
After 4
sure you
days
get
of
back
running
to the car.
That just took a turn.
Yeah,
But
that
after
got
4
dark.
days, you can have some upholstery clean anyway.
Although,
All sorts of problems. Yeah. Just leave the dog there forever. It's going to be an issue regardless.
So I will say that Lee Moon brought up a good point about why there's not a cat mode.
Why is that, Lee?
Because the cat will just drive off. The cat doesn't give a shit. You're there or not.
Right.
Also, most cats get carsick.
Yes.
Could be in the carrier. So
Yeah.
And there's nothing about parrot mode or lizard mode. Nothing at all.
Right.
Just dog mode.
And I do like that David in the chat brought up about, what about the psyche, the psych damage to the lonely canines.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe dog mode should stream videos.
Well, it does have a dancing balloon dog on the screen.
Right, like cat videos.
No.
Yeah,
what it should do is stream this show because our voices are comforting to all canines.
There you go.
So
I do also like that they show you the current temperature, not the set point. So as long as the busybodies are actually looking at the screen.
Well, as long as the busybodies will read the screen, you mean, Casey?
Yeah. If your dog's in the front seat, it's
because someone's going to throw a brick through the window anyway because they didn't bother to look at the screen.
They're doing it on purpose. But hopefully this will help the people with a little more ability to operate in society.
Those people that can walk and talk. Yes.
Yeah. How visible is that screen from the outside?
On the Model 3, it's extremely visible. I don't know how it's going to be on the Model S and Model X, though.
Yeah, the Model S and X it's kind of lower but
right.
on the Model 3, it's definitely up high and in the middle. It's in the middle on the S and the X, but it's with it being vertical as opposed to horizontal, it is a little bit less view from the outside, I would say.
Right. And hopefully you haven't tinted your windows or anything.
Yeah.
Correct.
I didn't tint my windows because I didn't want to get shot.
What's that? You didn't tint your windows because you didn't want to get shot?
What? He is in South Carolina.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. I've been
him.
pulled over for DWB.
Yeah.
And they made up some excuse. Oh, I smelled alcohol while driving down the road. I'm doing 45 going one way, windows up. He's doing 35 going the other way, windows up. I smelled alcohol in your car.
Yeah.
And then, I hear them calling me on my radio. Get out here.
Yeah. I need a body bag at shit. This is not going to end well.
It's not a good stop. Not at all.
Yeah. No. Bad stop.
Wow.
But I still have a spotless driving record. No warnings, no tickets.
Okay, that got really, really dark very quickly, even for me. I feel bad.
That is a turn I was not expecting.
Yeah,
not at all.
Casey, we got to get you to Southern California. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Back to my homeland.
Yeah.
So I do want to go ahead, and I'm sure everyone has already seen the picture, but I want to go ahead and stream this. So this is what it all looks like.
Yes. I like the dancing dog.
Now, so Tony, is that your dog or is that one of your dogs?
One of them is mine. The other one, I have no idea how it got in the car.
Because, of course, dog mode does open the doors to other dogs that look in distress.
Oh. Yes. So here it says, my owner will be back soon. Don't worry. The heater is on and it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wonder if you have your settings set to centigrade and you live in the States, are they going to mess you up?
And the setting is set to
beware Canadians
degrees.
about what your settings are when you're in the States and you're in dog mode. Yes. There's all sorts of problems with this, Casey, that were just not thought of.
Oh my God, he's trying to freeze his dog.
Yes,
well, it is a husky, so in this picture, maybe that's appropriate. Yeah. But very good. Very good. Our next story has got a local flavor for those in Toronto. And I can tell so many of you guys are in Toronto. But I happened to go to the Canadian International Auto Show in downtown Toronto on last Thursday. And as luck would have it.
Oh, no!
Yes, Tesla was actually displaying at the auto show in Toronto. They have a booth and we're displaying 3 cars.
That's good.
So
was it the same 3?
No, there's well, you can tell it was in Toronto because now there's a rack with a
ski rack on it.
Yeah, and
nice.
It's actually got a snowboard on it. So that was definitely a Toronto flavor.
Pandering to those Canadians.
Yeah, just pandering to the Canadians.
And white seats.
And white seats was nice to see. Mine is black seats, but white looks really nice in the red.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the X was there as well. I was really hoping for Roadster 2.0, but no, it was not there. No, just
kind of a shame, right? Like,
where's the pizzazz? They could have thrown in a Roadster.
These are stuff they can sell today. They don't even have to take it back out of the shop. They can be like, "Oh, this is yours."
True. But how many cars are they really going to sell at $250,000 off the show floor? Really?
But these 3 can sell today.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are companies that display all sorts of expensive cars at car shows. It's not really that wacky.
Yeah, and this Tesla in Toronto has always set up in what they call the Auto Exotica collection area.
Sure. Right.
Where you've got the McLarens and you've got the Lamborghini and you've got, the high-end Mercedes and other vehicles along that stature. They always display in this particular area in Toronto when they have displayed.
Wow.
But what I wanted to put out to the group, even the chat room, is how come Tesla has not been, I guess, displaying at all the different U.S. shows? How come they're pretty limited as to where they display? As you know, I was in Chicago with Tony the other week, and Tesla was not there at all. No presence whatsoever.
Right. There are 2 reasons for that. They don't want to spend the money on advertising, and a couple of the states that they have boycotted are states that they're not allowed to sell in, particularly the Detroit Auto Show.
Right. I can understand Detroit because of the and some other states that are blocking their sales. I completely understand that. But Chicago wouldn't be one of those.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 showrooms in the Chicago area.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and like they were in LA.
Yeah.
Last, I saw them there.
Yep.
But I kind of go like, so that's cool that they were there. But the other side of it is there's a million Tesla stores here. It's not like, and all you have to do is stand on the street for 5 minutes at the most to hit like 2 or 3 different Teslas.
Yeah. So, especially in LA.
Yeah, especially in Los
Angeles.
I
don't think that's necessarily the same thing in, say, at the Jarvis Center in New York City or in Chicago or maybe in Dallas, Texas.
Maybe the booth price was just a little bit out of the budget. They are running tight.
So they are running tight. I understand that. But
those car shows are very expensive, and I hate to say
they were in Geneva, recently. So I feel fortunate that they were here. I think it's good for them too. Toronto does have, I believe, 2 showrooms, number of service centers, but it was good to see them at the show. I just think that the more you get out there, the better it is.
Sure.
But there are different viewpoints. So
nobody's ever accused Tesla of having a super lucid marketing strategy. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. They just do what they do, and by virtue of that, they get a ton of publicity. So they've eschewed most marketing things. I think, to be honest with you, they don't really. They're just kind of guessing. They're throwing things against the wall.
I guess.
Well, that's it'd be interesting to see as this moves along, if their plan will change from time to time.
Sure.
But right now, it's very limited.
Hey, Mark, did you get any footage or video or anything from the show while you were there?
Just the photos that I published there.
Oh, see, that's a shame because you should have shot some video or something. I mean, you were there and you're very photogenic.
Oh no! Oh no! Wait! What are we doing?
Oh yes, indeed. Thank you, Tony.
Wait, I can show it again.
Tony's running the B reel, so that's great. Yes.
Oh, almost closed it. There it is.
Try it again.
Oh, you are so welcome.
There's going to be a fight after this show. Okay, those of you viewing, and next week, someone on the panel is not going to be here. I'm just going to make
someone may not make it to the end of this show.
I might not see the email next week.
Hit the eject button, Mark. Hit the eject button.
Absolutely. Next, another mode has rolled out just recently as well. The Century mode, which has appeared in. And Tony, if you could grab maybe a screenshot of that would be great.
Got it.
But we've now got a limited rollout of Century mode, which allows us to track, I guess, motion, sound, and vibration on the outside of the car. So there's what the screen is showing, which I really like, is this HAL 9000 picture here of the little eye that's watching you as Century mode is activated, showing anyone from the outside. And Russell, stop shaking your head. Really, come on. It's a fun avatar. You've got the recording note indicating that it is recording, and it's protected by Tesla, and it's activated. And from what I understand, there's two different modes where it will alert the person on the outside that something's going on. So if the microphone is picking up some sort of noise that's close to the car, or if someone is actually I guess up to the pillar or to the camera, it will indicate that it can see somebody, and therefore the screen will get brighter to try to draw attention that the car sees them. And if someone starts to bang on the roof or on the glass, then it can go into the actual alarm mode, which will begin to play a selection of classical music.
You're kidding.
Casey, do you know the actual name of the song it's playing?
No,
I had it, but I forgot another moment.
Yeah.
No. Please tell me you're making this up, please.
No, it is not.
No, it's true. It's true. It's what
Keep summer safe, though.
And of course, the people that had started to see this roll out, their first thought was, well, oh my gosh, if someone owns a Tesla or knows about them, all they would have to do if they were to break into the car would be to reach in and grab the USB stick from the console. And of course, the recorded information would be lost. But Tesla has indicated that the car is actually going to upload some of that as well at the same time. So there's going to be some sort of pictures that are uploaded. And of course, I haven't broken my glass to figure out if this is going going yet or not. And I'm not going to
do it.
Yeah,
Somebody's gonna break the glass for it.
but there's this I guess option that it's going to be able to record to the cloud. Again, we're not completely sure. There have been some YouTubers that have played with this a little bit and have shown the different alarm modes as it gets ready. And the other great thing, of course, is that it will, in either alarm mode, it will send a note to the mobile device. So it'll let you know that something's going on. The car has sensed something. It's recorded something. So you can, head your way back to the car to try to avoid anything further from happening. But it at least gives the driver the notification that something's going on and the Century mode has been activated.
The musical selection outside of Easter egg mode is Bach's Toccata and I can't pronounce it. Fugue?
Toccata and Fugue in D.
Yes.
Da-da-da, the old
That's
classic
the
horror song. Yeah.
Yeah, the classic horror.
Right. Big organ sound kind of thing.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
So,
the Easter egg mode will be a electrical version of that.
An electrical version of that?
Heavy metal electric.
Oh, nice. Nice. I just, So people are already parking their trucks to be jerks in front of superchargers, right?
Yeah.
So as the word gets around that this is, and they walk by and they see, a stolen Stanley Kubrick thing on the dash, what's to stop them from just pounding on the window just to get a rise out of a Tesla owner who's going to suddenly get an alert and go, oh my God, my car's being broken into.
Yes.
I'm sure that kind of stuff is going to happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like you're kind of begging for a little bit of trouble here.
But the alternative
Is
More broken windows.
is to have another broken window, and there's no deterrent whatsoever.
Okay.
So what is better besides installing maybe bulletproof glass that can't be broken that easily but costs a fortune? Like I don't know what they can get away with and it's such a rampant thing apparently in Northern and Southern California. It's not rampant anywhere else, but there's a lot of talk about that on the social media about people breaking in.
So
and Tony, of course, has got this other great video of somebody else trying to break in. That is
it's just an image, not the video, just the image.
Am I supposed to show that video now?
Yeah, Russell's
go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, well, then here, let me. And Tony's already showing it. Oh, no, he's not.
Go ahead.
I just had the image. I wasn't sure about
Russell's presenting now.
Sorry. I had it already and now I'm not. Okay, there. So here it is. Here's your security video, kids. Woot, woot, woot. Go, play. What, just walking by.
Yep.
Hi. Just walking. Whoa. Whoa, wait.
What could those be? Get off my hood, damn it.
Okay.
And then, of course, from the side.
I just want to say, I don't think classical music is going to scare Cookie Monster away. Okay. No. I suspect that's not.
I would agree. Nothing's going to scare Cookie Monster away.
So I just want to end again. So I know you think I'm just being contradictory. I'm not. I had a client that did a lot of high-end car work, and one of them was high-end car alarms. And back in the day, the most expensive alarm had this perimeter warning thing, right? That if you came within a few feet of the car would be like, "You are too close to the vehicle. Please step away." And what that almost guaranteed was vandalism every time. Somebody would just be like, bam, and then walk away. Now, this at least has cameras that record, so maybe you'll get a picture of the vandal and stuff. Just all I'm saying is, socially speaking, there's a fine line between aggravating potential crime perpetrators and scaring them off. That's it.
Yeah, I would have to agree that somebody may be just pissed off that the car, tweeted at them or made a noise.
Yeah,
there's no doubt that does happen. I don't know. Besides trying to do something like this, how Tesla would get around it. Like you said, it is a fine line. How do they cross the line? Only probably by experimentation, I would think.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of old school car security, so when I was in college, it was a particularly cold, wintry day, and all us students were walking not single file, but following the path, and we're walking, and we were getting past a car lot, and car alarms were just new. The guy got out of his okay car. It was really nothing special. He takes 20 steps away, turns around, cheep, cheep. And you just heard thump. The guy turns around, and we all started looking at what had happened. And there was a snowball in the middle of his back window. The guy looks around, cheep, cheep, thump, thump. And it was like he was looking around. Everyone was waiting for him to alarm it again. He ended up just leaving it off because I think he knew that it was just going to get pounded with snowballs.
Yeah, after the second time, you knew that was it.
Oh, man. I think that was great.
Okay, well, on to our next story. Casey's got our next story.
Go, Casey.
So we've
Taiwan,
got,
I believe.
Tesla is trying to prevent people blocking the superchargers. In China, they had was it 2 weeks ago? We saw them with a QR code solution. You scan it with your phone, lowers the guard. Well, in Taiwan now, they have equipped that with a license plate reader. So as you back your car in, it'll lower the block. And the vehicle in question, I spoke with one of the technicians. It actually belongs to that P90D Ludicrous package. Actually belongs to the service center.
So the picture that they had shown was the actual service center that was testing it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I've got a photo of that. Yeah, I got that here.
Oh no.
Share that so people can see what we're talking about. There we go. So you've got this little yellow, looks like metal or plastic ring that would drop when it reads the license plate.
Yep.
Oh, so that little circle on it on top is probably the camera that's reading the plate.
I think it's on the pole behind it, the black oval.
Okay. So I thought this little circle here, I thought that might be it. But
it could be.
It makes more sense that it's on the pole because that's higher up.
And less likely to get hit.
Yeah.
But they'll need taller models for the States and Canada,
Yeah.
Mexico.
That's not going to stop the 4x4 truck that's going over the space, is it?
It might hit his rear differential.
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. So this is the next iteration. So it's certainly a little better that the driver doesn't have to get out and scan something.
Yeah, and you can, with you reading the plate, there's a Tesla and not just somebody who was smart enough to use a QR code reading app.
Right.
Unless they stole the plates off of Tesla and wanted to park, but that's getting a little fancy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so let's see, we go to the printer, we print up a thing to cover the license plate. Humans are tough to deal with.
Where's it going to end, man? Where's it going to end?
Well, I like it when they're in the very back of the lot where nobody wants to park in the first place. But that also increases your installation costs because you got to get the cabling all the way out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that maybe the icing problem is a lot more troublesome in certain Asian cities because of the density of people, and I'm sure that parking is hard to be found at any stretch of the imagination in certain cities.
Yeah.
But when you come to the States or Canada, a lot of these superchargers are, somewhat out of the way. They're not completely beside the stores. In a number of cases they are, but some of them they're not. Yeah. So it's just less. It happens less here than it does over there, I would believe. But we'll see. We'll see if they progress and start putting up actual pickup truck style ones that will block pickups.
Right. Just have something that'll puncture the gas tank.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. And if the driver complains about it, it just starts to spark.
I like that.
Put a spike on the end of the metal snake charger,
right?
And if it's a Tesla, just bend the spike back, and then there you go.
I'm activating incendiary mode, sir. You may want to move your truck out of that space.
With what little fuel you have left.
Oh man. Okay. Next, we've got a story about Gigafactory 3 in China.
Can I tell that one?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, really, the everybody doesn't care about hearing from me. What you want to see is what is the progress in Gigafactory 3 in China? What does it look like today? What does it look like recently? Well, here you go. That's what it looks like. So now, on one hand, you may go, wow, Russell's being a jerk. I'm not really. I mean, there's progress there. They've obviously got a couple of pads poured that looks like what appears to be one or two or maybe even a third smaller sprung structure. And we know Tesla loves them sprung structures. Obviously they have the site graded, it looks like, and laid out to some extent, but progress is progress, and it's good to see them moving forward with this. So yeah,
you notice those pillar. I guess they would be. Would they be drilling?
On the far side.
Yeah, you see there's a string of them together.
Yeah, they're the pylons or the foundations.
Right, foundation.
Yeah, I don't like Yeah, I'm not sure why they would be doing that. You wouldn't normally do that for like a tilt up.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it of course depends on what kind of reclaimed land this is. If this used to be ocean land, or if it was fill, sometimes
Right.
they will put concrete pillars into the ground
Oh.
to shore up the stability of the land. Certainly in earthquake zones, they do that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is an earthquake zone or not. I have no idea.
Maybe they're drilling for oil.
No, it'd be a different drill rig for that.
Never was too.
Tony,
glad
you're just the optimist in any scenario. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't say that. Is all I can say. Like, I wasn't the one that said Tesla was drilling for oil on the site of their new factory.
If it is literally a Xerox of the plans for the Gigafactory 1, they'll need the extra footing because the building is huge. It's gonna be the largest, pair of buildings by volume in the world.
Yeah, and it certainly does look like it. It's muddy there.
Yes.
Maybe it's the rainy season or something, but every photo I've seen looks like a lot of mud, a lot of standing water. So yeah, that would make sense. Obviously, this is a building that is supposed to have the exterior part of the structure, or at least the initial part, completed by this summer.
So are they going to do it in stages like Gigafactory 1, or are they going to complete the whole thing and then to fill it?
That is a question that I can't answer, Casey.
It is stages. So they are going to be building the building in stages, operational stages, because apparently the Chinese media in Russell's article here is talking about having a stage complete by the summer that they can start operations in.
Mm-hmm. I could easily see that if they are building this a traditional big box building where you have the preformed concrete walls that are 3 stories tall, and you just bring them in and you just stack them like boom, 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 and then you put the inside and you lay the roof on it. I mean, and we're talking China. I mean, let's forget it wasn't but like a month ago we were talking about them breaking ground, and now they've already got
before that.
Say what?
It was like a failing farm before
someone's
that.
farm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, so they're moving really fast, and the Chinese government really wants this to happen, and they can throw bodies at this to get it done.
It's probably not a good way to phrase that, Tony.
But, I mean, I meant
phrasing.
I meant that to imply that there's no human rights regulation.
You're digging yourself a hole, Tony.
Yeah. Is that worse?
Suddenly, you're going to spark an international incident.
Less paperwork, if you will.
Yeah,
yeah. That's a good way to put it. Absolutely, less paperwork.
I'm just glad it wasn't me that said all that.
Yeah. But I mean, so what I'm saying is, their crazy fast timeline is actually really achievable when honestly, when you've got the Chinese government behind you and as many workers as you can bring on site. And
no, wait. What? Come on. What does the phrase Elon time mean to you?
Oh, I understand Elon time, but this is not Elon in the United States or something. This is outside of Elon's control, in my opinion.
Okay. I got nothing.
Somebody else is saying the timeline, if you will.
Yeah, I'm thinking someone else is projecting the timeline. This is not.
We gave you $500 billion. You're gonna have this done by summer or get out.
I'm again, it's only 10% done by summer. So this is, as Tony said about the build structure, if it is those concrete walls that are slapped up against, iron beams, it's going to go quickly. Like all you have to do is have the base structure done, have it solid, and then start putting up those vertical I-beams, connect the structure together, and then start slapping cement walls and bolting it to the frame. And you can have a structure up fairly quickly. So I don't, we're 3 months away from the start of summer.
Yeah.
So, 5 months from now, I bet you they've got a building up.
Yeah.
And it's started.
I'm sorry. Is there something behind that bet, Coughlin?
Is there something behind
money?
that?
Money? Money? Is it money or beer or pride?
There's a toonie on the line.
All right.
I will cover your toonie. How's that?
Yeah, I got it right here.
I will cover.
Here we go. Toonie is on the line, ready to go.
It.
No.
$1.
Everyone, pull out their toonies.
They do.
Russell's searching for his.
They do own a robot factory and a tool and die factory and a solar factory. So I mean, they can get this infrastructure done.
Yeah, and I've seen this around the Chicagoland area, and in a structure this size, they would be silly to start in one corner of the building and work their way all the way around the building. They will start in 4 corners with 4 shifts of people putting down the walls, and they will. I mean, all I'm saying is I've seen construction like this go up really, really fast. It's just not going to shock me. It's not.
Yeah. And look at what they've done with Gigafactory 1. It's 33% complete, and it's the world's largest battery factory.
Absolutely, it is. Yep.
There's a bigger one in China.
Now.
Just saying.
All right, so we will see what's happening midway through the summer and collect the Toonie bet. So we will see.
Mark your calendars.
Next, Tony's got a story about the cheapest Tesla available.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Oh. So the cheapest Tesla available, according to Fred Lambert, is the Roadster he's getting for free through
the 2 Roadsters he's getting for free.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Touche, sir. Touche.
So Fred did write an article in Electrek, and he said one of the most frequent questions about Teslas is, when am I going to be able to afford one? Because we know, we talk about Teslas and we talk about how they are becoming mainstream, but they're still considered the luxury market. And they're compared to luxury cars, and especially price-wise. So one of the things he points out is a mid-range Model 3 is it starts at $42,900 before incentives. So what I went ahead and did was, I'm going to go ahead and share this. While you guys were talking about a previous article, I went ahead and I built a Model 3. So I did a Model 3 mid-range rear-wheel drive, deep blue, cubby blue metallic paint, went with the Aero wheels, black and white interior, and I put in autopilot, and you can see it's 50,000, but after estimated savings, of course, 42,000. We know incentives are going down, and if you're really penny pinching right now and you're willing to save 5,000 now and maybe risk 7,000 later, you can bring that down to a purchase price of $45,437, hopefully after estimated savings. That is not a Corolla per se or whatever, but you're getting 45,000, you're getting into that range, and that's getting to be a little more affordable.
So before savings, but after the federal and Colorado tax credit, you're looking at $35,650.
Yeah, before
if you live in Colorado.
Right,
Colorado.
If you live in Colorado. And then, it does kind of spell it out. You can see the federal tax is down to $37,500, and they throw in the gas savings, of course, which they talk crap about doing that.
That's kind of shady.
Yeah,
I would say.
But
they've only been doing it for 10 years.
Still, it's getting to be a more affordable car.
It's definitely coming down from the sticker shock of a Model S.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Definitely.
So they have made this car certainly more affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And with state and federal reductions or rebates, if they're available to you, it certainly is. It becomes, fairly achievable, depending on what situation you're in. But it's becoming more and more achievable as time goes along. The price has been dropping in smaller increments lately, but they're trying to get it down to that base level. I don't know if they're going to get it there this year. They claim they might, but they're heading in the right direction.
I still think that they're going to do the standard battery with the premium interior until they see volume drop just a little bit. Just milk out as much profit as they can.
Right. So that would be 35 plus 5,000. So $40,000 will be the next drop you're thinking.
Yeah. So black is the only free. So if you really want to do it, so black is included with the interior. I went black and white. If you just go,
Black. Yeah,
black
that's
inside,
included.
black outside, skip the autopilot.
Yeah, you can get that later with your tax credit.
And now it's down to 42,900 purchase.
Yeah.
And then Illinois, of course, killed the state incentive. But if you have a state incentive, then that comes down even more. Again, like Casey said. So it's getting to that point that someone might be willing to spend an extra $5,000, maybe even $10,000, to get the Tesla, to know that the autopilot can be activated later, and the realization that there's going to be massive fuel savings the more you drive this car.
Yeah. I do like that even if you don't buy the autopilot, all of the safety features are still active.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing Fred pointed out was the used market. Here is something that is really, really interesting. So, okay, work with me here. I went to Tesla, and okay, see, I don't understand why. I go to Tesla.com.
Mm-hmm.
I come over here and I do used inventory.
Yeah.
You can all see this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I click used inventory, and I'll be damned. Nope. It redirected me. It redirects me to Ireland.
Ireland?
How
do you get Ireland? Oh, look, it does say Ireland. Yeah. Results displayed for Ireland.
And even the URL says it's EN_IE. You can see it right up here. It redirected me.
That's interesting.
To Ireland.
Mine here. All right, let's go to.
Maybe it knows your last name is really O'Shamus.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, I see them on my screen. Let me present.
Yeah. So try that. Oh, I'm still presenting. There we go.
There we go.
So how? I don't know. I don't understand why.
They know where I am. Look at this.
Redirecting me. To so
are you on a VPN?
So sort by price, and let's see what the cheapest S is that you can get right there.
Ah, there we go. Price low to high. 36.4. Under 100,000 miles.
For 2014.
Yeah. The 2013 costs more.
Probably less mileage.
Yeah.
A lot less.
But, I mean, but still, I mean, we know that,
that's my old color right there, man.
Comfort and everything is still there. It's
and these are close to me, so it could be cheaper still if you don't want to, deal with the Atlanta thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then don't forget, this is Tesla selling these. There's always Current Automotive.
Oh yeah, Current Automotive, which we get the show credit for.
And you get show credit.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's see real quick what they've got nationwide in their inventory. Do used, USA, sort by price.
What is it? EV CPO Hunter?
Yes. After the guys at Derek stopped participating, these guys stayed around. So 32,100 with no warranty, silver metallic. It's a Model S 85, tan leather, 19-inch wheels. Let's see where it is.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, it's located in New York. It's only got 62,000 miles on it.
$32,100.
Yeah,
wow.
That's EV-CPO. I have no.
I just bought it, man. That's beautiful.
Nice.
Very good. So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
As we can see, there are different options depending on what you're after. But the article is indicating about the price coming down, and of course the used market that we just took a quick look at. And unless you're in Ireland, it looks pretty good.
If you need to know about Ireland, just let me know, because apparently that's where I live now.
Apparently there's not a lot going on in the used car market for Tesla in Ireland.
But it is nice to know that if anyone is tracking my location, they think I'm in Dublin, and that makes me happy. Yeah, with my luck, I think I'm in like shithole Limerick.
And with that, on to our next story. Excellent segue.
Tony's just defending everybody.
Excellent
segue.
I've been to Limerick. I left. That's all I'm saying.
That's what we need is people upset at us in Ireland. Right. Okay. The next story is talking a little bit. It was from Inside EVs, and it was discussing a little bit about I guess it's the success of Model 3 as it starts to roll out, and what projections are for the car selling in 2019. And this is somewhat of a guess, obviously, but what they're doing is forecasting what they see coming up. And what I find interesting is that they seem to be touching upon, without certainly being too much of a surprise, the Chinese and European market as time goes along. So the cars that are being shipped out recently to the Asian market and to Europe have been increasing. We've seen some different pictures. Obviously, we followed the Glovis boats across the Atlantic. There's been several of them that are going to both China and to Europe now. And the number of cars that are leaving is ramping up exponentially. So we just saw recently, as well as Elon posting a picture of, there it is, of the dock in San Francisco. Showing the shimmering roofs of the Model 3s in the sunlight as they prepare to board yet another boat. This one's set for Europe, 4,000 cars set for Europe. So it'll be interesting to see that when the next quarter comes up and the figures are released, will they break it up for us so we can see the amount of being sold in different countries? Will that ever come up, or is it always going to be lumped as a total figure? Because certainly in the early months here, everything, it seems to be being shipped out onto a boat and being sent. But these new markets, certainly, it's been planned this way to keep production at a certain level. And it's something that is going to be interesting to see if these numbers are going to continue the way they were before Europe opened up, or if they will spike, or if they'll go down.
We've still got Australia and the cheaper models, and
there's a lot going on, isn't there? All at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see if these numbers, if Tesla has done the proper planning and can keep the production either ramping up or going steady until the base model is released, which they say, of course, they have mentioned previously that they're still looking at partway through the year. Although there's another story based on that in the US at least, Tesla has removed the option of the base car off the website. So what does that mean? What does that mean?
It means you can buy it, but we can't.
What's that?
It means you can buy it, but we can't. They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't remove it from the Canadian side, but in the U.S. just this week, it was found that the mention of it has been taken out. So I don't know. It's all up in the air, people. It's all up in the air. We're just kind of watching from the outside. We get little bits and snippets, but we really don't know what the master plan is besides what we're being told. We will have to wait, like everyone else, to see if the plans actually change.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall see.
It's going to be a very interesting year.
Yes. When is it not? It's
fair enough.
Fair exactly. Exactly. And then, of course, on that note, leasing. It's been indicated that leasing is starting to come into play for the Model 3. A letter was released to the employees recently stating that leasing is something that's going to start to become available. It hasn't been announced the actual date, but they're now talking about it to the employees. So the ability to lease a Model 3 is starting. At least they're discussing it. So that's positive as well. Another way for people to get into the car, maybe charge it as a business expense, write it off in their company. Some people certainly were waiting for that option.
Sure. And some people just don't want to buy an electric car yet. You know, they may love the idea of Tesla, but they're still a little sketchy about it, and they like leasing. That's okay.
Exactly.
You know, that's okay. I think the interesting thing in here is that there seems to be some dissonance as to when this is going to happen. Apparently, the internal document that Electrek leaked implied that it would be very soon, whereas Tesla's official word is later in the year.
Yeah. So again, we don't know. But it is interesting that it is being discussed at least with the employees, so that that's a heads up that something is afoot. What the time schedule is, again, we don't know. We do not know. And last story of the evening is a podcast that Elon appeared on. This time with no smoke. There was no smoke. There was smoke.
You just didn't see it. Let me assure you, there was smoke.
This podcast is devoted to basically some. It's an investment group, so they talk about topics that relate to investing or makes connections to investing at least. And Elon went into some detail during this podcast, about 20 minutes or so, where they discussed the speed of full self-driving coming. That was the main topic that they talked about. Elon believes, or has stated in this podcast, that he believes that full self-driving will be available from a standpoint of the machinery and software by the sometime in the end of this year, and then said that for rollout for regulators to allow it to go out, he's hoping for sometime into 2020, when they will be able to prove the case that it is something that is safe based on the different certainly millions of miles that current drivers are going to be using it. So there is, again, there's the difference between whether the hardware and software is ready to go, or whether the regulators will release it in the different states, federally, and different countries, is a question mark. It's not something that's, and we've heard this from Elon in the past, as it's gotten closer and closer to self-driving, this regulation has been coming to the tip of his tongue many times.
Yeah, he said that we should look to see at the end of the year, it'll look very much like what we have today, where you sort of hang onto the wheel, nudge it, I'm still here, I'm alive. And he mentioned that the US and China were pretty amicable with the regulations, but a lot of the European countries were a bit more conservative.
Bullshit resistant. I mean, look, this is some smoking hot bullshit. Am I the only one that smells this?
I drive it every day to work. I believe that it is
number one,
possible.
Number one, in the United States, tell me which regulator is holding Elon back.
Actually, he said on the podcast that no one is holding him back.
Exactly. Yep. But he plays this game where it's like, it's going to be ready. It's going to be done. But I can't do it because the regulators won't let me. Sure, Elon. This is like such a bad stock pump. And the idea that he goes on the show, on the ARK Invest show, which owns, I think, 8% of Tesla.
They own 8%. That's quite a chunk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's so sleazy. It's just so sleazy. And Tesla doesn't need to do that. They don't need this. They don't need this information.
I think Elon should say.
I think Elon should say nothing.
Well, right. I think he should say that full autonomous capabilities will be activated within the states in which we are allowed to sell directly to customers.
Oh,
quote,
please contact your
elected representative.
Yeah.
Quoting Elon Musk from this interview, meaning the car will be able to find you in a parking lot, pick you up, and take you all the way to your destination without an intervention. Quote.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's not backing down from that. You're right. He said that previously too.
Yeah. And it's so
Well, I don't have to intervene on most of my commutes. Most.
Yeah, but
I have the old
Casey,
computer, too.
you got to admit that if you're traveling, people are thinking that this is coast to coast. People are thinking they're going to be able to go between superchargers in cities, and the car's not going to have to do anything. And none of that has been proved to this point.
No. At the end of the year, you'll still have to be holding onto the wheel, watching it. You can't sleep.
And it ain't going to fill itself up at a supercharger yet either.
Maybe version 3 is the snake charger.
The snake charger, yeah.
But if you have a Gen 1 car,
You're screwed.
Well, you're screwed in the Gen 1 because, of course, it's not Autopilot 2.0. And that was not promised for... Maybe it was promised, but it's been written out of it at this point. Hardware is not capable. In fact, the hardware 2.5 is not capable of doing what Elon has proposed it could have done.
He reiterated again that the upgrade, if you already paid for the feature, would be free.
Correct.
Well, no extra charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. Gen 1 is definitely out.
Yeah.
It is out.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, that's quite a bit. We do have one last thing, though.
Yeah, baby.
Because, of course, it is the Tesla Life. What I wanted to show today on our one last thing is here is the trouble of a 20-inch rim on your Tesla.
Yeah.
This unfortunate gentleman was driving and hit a pothole, which, of course, in the Northeast are quite prevalent on the roads. And, of course, with the thickness of the tire on the 20-inch rim, you don't have as much cushion room. And the rim hit the pavement and bent the rim and, of course, lost tire pressure immediately. So although 20s look wonderful on the car, keep in mind that in the winter, if you're in an area that is prone to potholes, like the entire state of Michigan, or other places like Southern Ontario, you do have this possibility. And I would suggest in winters, if you have the choice, downsize to 18 inches, get yourself a lot more cushion on the rubber, and you will avoid this type of thing.
And put some snow tires on those rims.
Certainly
summer tires there.
Yeah.
But this is certainly the perils of hitting a pothole with larger rims, and of course you're gonna basically have to buy another rim. I would not even sure if they could,
I don't think they could repair that.
Get that repaired.
That wheel's not going to be. That wheel's going to be dirt cheap too.
Yeah, so they're much more expensive. But for those of you still thinking you're going to buy one, or you're thinking about the choices of tires, keep that in mind, depending on the part of the country you're in.
So I gotta wonder, just how deep was that pothole?
The 19 inches.
It wouldn't have to be that deep, really. It
really
would not have to be that deep.
Yeah.
So, but so we're talking like full Titanic here, right?
Well, in your picture, you're talking Titanic, but no, I don't think that the pothole has to be all that deep in order to damage a rim.
No, not at all.
If you check out the sidewalls on that car, they're really non-existent. It's very thin.
The last European delivery that we saw was they all actually shipped with winter tires on them.
Really?
I don't know about the one in the picture I showed today, but the previous one, yes.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, so that's it. Let's do some shout-outs then. And good job, everybody. Tony, shout-outs for you.
Shout-outs as always to everyone in the chat. I got some show title suggestions. Excellent. Hockey Day with Tesla drilling for oil in China.
Of course.
That's beautiful.
Lee Moon spelled I don't know, Boki in Chinese, which I'm guessing is sprung structure.
Oh.
Hockey Day went with Protect My Cookies. JT is Return to the Super Snake, and then Lee Moon came back with Tesla unleashes the snakes.
Very good. So certainly, if you're out there, please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the little subscribe button. Press the like too. Why not? If you enjoy the show, press the like. Give us a like. It helps us out. We would certainly appreciate that. Speaking about Lee Moon, thanks very much for the music that we use every week on the show. That's fantastic. And sorry to hijack your segment, Tony, but
oh, I am done.
On to Casey. Casey, shoutouts, please.
I've got. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I was able to correct my URL to no longer say hybrid. It's youtube.com/Casey Green now.
That's going to make it easier.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The electric guy with the hybrid site. That's a little weird.
And Russell, what do you got for us?
Huh?
Oh,
I got nothing. No. Let's.
Are you
see.
playing the Evan Fusco segment?
Am I watching a hockey game or a baseball game? No, I'm not. Thanks to everybody in the chat room, of course. Thanks, Mark, for having me on the show. And tune in about an hour and watch What Drives Us at youtube.com/What Drives Us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so while you're there, subscribe to that one as well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, that's it for this week, people. Thanks very much for joining us. If you did it live in the chat room, certainly we appreciate that. If you're watching us at any point through the week, thank you again. And tune in next week and find out what's going on in the Tesla life.
Does Superman save the day?
Good night, everybody.
Good night.